What an honor to welcome Bernie Marcus onto the program. Hi, Bernie.
God, Glenn, I'm worn out just listening to you on the introduction.
Yeah, I mean, that's an incredible life. An incredible life. Wow. Thank you.
Well, look, you put on this earth for a very short time, and you're hoping that you're going to do the best you can, and God willing, you're able to do it. Now, we grew up very poor. My parents were Russian immigrants. We lived in a fourth-floor tenement in Newark, New Jersey, and to say we were poor would be an understatement. We virtually had nothing, and in those days, they didn't have the umbrella. You didn't have food stamps. They didn't give out, cell phones to people. We just made it. My father didn't. And he was a lousy businessman and a great carpenter, but not a good businessman. If he didn't make any money, we didn't eat. And it was as simple as that. But one thing we had the family, and we had the love in the family. And my mother, who really ran the family, believed in America, and she thought this was the golden land. And she kept saying to me, no matter what you want to be, you can be it in America. This is the golden land. And she was 100% right. And she said, if you work hard and you keep focused and you don't let bad problems affect you and knock you down, if you keep going, that you will be successful at whatever you want to be. She said, you could be the President of the United States. Although, Glenn, why would I want to do that?
No, not...
Jeez,
yeah, I know.
My God,
I know.
I mean, what Trump is going through is unbelievable.
I am just like you. I am so worried about freedom and the free market, the ability to think and become. It's all going away so quickly, and it just seems like America is asleep, or they don't realize that it won't always be like it was. I think people have this, these things happen, and, no, we're on the verge of losing everything that our founders worked for and people like you built over the last 250 years.
Well, I'm sorry to say that you're probably right. I'm 93 years old. Jeez. And I've lived through so many administrations, Republican, Democrat, and I never thought that the world could change so quickly in 2 years. Biden got into office, and he is extreme in every day way you could think of. And I'm a great believer in the capitalist system. I think capitalism built America.
Yeah.
Made us the strongest land in the country in the world. That's why people have come across the border. They want to come here, and they want to have their own American dream. It's the only place. You can't have it in India, China, or Russia, or Venezuela,
even Europe,
or the UK, or anywhere.
Yeah,
and you can have it here. As long as you believe in what you want, what you're doing, and work hard, but that's not the case anymore.
I was going to say, is it true? Because could you start Home Depot today, like you did, back when you started it?
I don't think so, Glenn, and I think the reason is they have so many obstacles for small businesses. We're a small business, and that's why I started Job Creators Network, to protect small businesses, because I know it's the backbone of America. 70%, about 70 million people work in small businesses. I'm talking about the pizza shop, the cleaning store, the drugstore. These are all small businesses. And we never had the regulations that they have today. And what he's trying to do, and I'm talking about Biden now and the Democratic Congress, they want to pass laws that raise taxes that'll knock out half the American or half the small businesses in America, they're not going to survive. They can't survive now. They're barely making it now because they can't find people that want to work. I mean, think about this in America. You can't find people that want to work. And it's amazing, you know, why would people work when they, in some cases, with two in a family, maybe a couple of kids, you can make $90,000 a year sitting on your rear end at home and not working. So the American dream is starting to fade, and it's shameful. And kids coming out of college that are being taught these woke policies believe in socialism. And they did a survey. I think there were 35% believe that socialism is better than capitalism. And let me tell you something. Capitalism is what made the Home Depot. If we weren't able to sell stock on the street, because when we opened the store, I'm talking about the first Home Depot store, we were terribly undercapitalized. And the only thing that kept us alive was being able to go to the capital markets and raise money. And we did that. And today, you know, Home Depot is, you know, $100 billion in sales plus 500,000 associates in the United States, in Mexico, and Canada, in Guam, and in Hawaii, and is a very profitable company. But if you look at what they're trying to do with this ESG, which is, you know, they're now doing it with the financial institutions and with the investment funds, we're going to destroy America. They're killing off the goose, and I don't get it. Why would they want to do this?
That's, I think, why so many people don't understand or don't accept anything as a plan. They just think maybe this is incompetence, maybe, but there's too much that has happened for, you know, anybody's batting average to be that bad unless it's intentional. And what they're doing is resetting capitalism. They're resetting it to a stakeholder capitalism. And the stakeholders are the businesses, the community leaders, if you will, and the government. And they're directing us into this new system and destroying the value of our dollar to be able to reset into something that they have more control over. It's something that, you know, I don't think people really, you know, most people are not evil. Most people aren't really even bad. So when they see somebody who's doing something that is really bad or evil, they have a hard time accepting it because they'd be like, why? People don't do that. Why would they do that? But power and money and greed, powerful.
Yeah, I think that many people, I'm talking about the American people today, are really thinking with their hearts, but they're not thinking with their brains. Mm-hmm. Look at this inflation, what it's doing to this country, and what it's doing to the middle class and lower class is just outrageous. People can't afford to put meat on the table, eggs, or, you know, the simple things because of inflation, and it's all manufactured by the policies of Biden. So it didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't just happen. This was done purposely. Now, does he want to bring down this country? I don't know. He's doing a hell of a good job of it.
Yeah. We're talking to Bernie Marcus, the Marcus Foundation chairman and the co-founder of Home Depot. I want to talk to you a little bit about the banking system and the belief in capitalism. How does somebody who was born, on September 11th even, they have not seen what capitalism in a free market really is. They've seen the crony capitalism, and they're in their 20s now. So how do we reverse this? We'll continue our conversation in 60 seconds. Bernie, how long has it been since we've been in an actual free market? Because people, the youth today, they have no idea. They see capitalism as something that is just enriching really, really rich people and really corrupt partners in Congress or in the White House.
Well, yeah. Well, you only have to go back 2 years. You know, when Trump was president, and a lot of people hate Trump. I mean, really hate him, not because of his policies, but his policies brought about a period of time when everybody was in good shape. The poor, the middle class, the minorities had more minorities working than any time in the history of this country. Inflation was, a 1.5% or something. And they say all ships rise. Well, everybody was making money. Everybody was doing better. All the things were happening that were good. And then COVID came along, and it killed the Trump administration. And I think it killed his ability to get reelected. That plus ill-advised things that he said, but his policies were terrific. And so capitalism was flourishing during this period of time. The stock market was flying. People were making a lot of money in their 401ks, and everything looked really good. And Biden came in, and it was like you took a cloak and you just put it over the economy. And from that day on, inflation started to rise. He started to spend more money than we have, much more, and in frivolous places. And, of course, we saw inflation starting to go up, and the cost of energy killed everybody and killed the entire supply line. And I don't know, the American people, aren't you feeling it? Don't you feel it every time you go to a supermarket or you pay your rent and your rent is up dramatically? The American people, I've always had faith in them. I hope that they wake up and understand that they can't afford these policies anymore and vote the people out of office.
Bernie,
brought it to them.
I would love to continue our conversation. You're the only 93-year-old that probably has limited time, in his schedule. If you can stay another 15 minutes, I would like that. Just talk to our producers off air, ask him. Bernie Marcus, the Home Depot co-founder, he is very outspoken on what's going on with the banks, and we're going to talk to him. By the way, he's 93. Compare him to the president.